Hello.
Today marks 10 years since I started doing narrated content on YouTube, and I thought it was a good opportunity to just reflect a little bit on what I've achieved in those 10 years, which is to say, almost nothing.
The point is, I just spat all over my microphone then.
It's 10 years since I first put my voice on the internet, but not 10 years since I first did actual narration by, whilst the game was being played. That came later. That was part, oh my god, I know this. Why do I know this? Part 29 of the Narrated NidoRun, of the Fire Red Nuzlocke, sorry, contemporary narration was the first time I narrated at the same time.
Hello and welcome to a very special Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke challenge because it's live, would you believe?
What I used to do was I'd play the game for ages on VBA, and then record it all the time whilst that was going, and then I'd have to re-encode that because the VBA desynced all the audio and the video, then put that into like Camtasia Studio, I think I used, and then that's not what I used to start with. I used something else first, I can't remember what. But anyway, I'd split all that and edit it up and everything, and then I'd record myself narrating over the top of it. And I maintain to this day that the early stuff I did in the NidoRun and Fire Red Nuzlocke was actually some of the best narrated stuff I've ever done. But anyway, so the channel's come a long way in 10 years. It's been through four main phases, the Pokemon phase, the Terraria phase, the Minecraft phase, and now the EU4 phase, or the EU4As, which is like an enzyme. And each time I've kind of abandoned an audience and tried to build a new one. Not on purpose, but I've always maintained that I do this because I enjoy it, much as I just love it to be my job. Yogscast, if you're watching, I'm local. Local streamers in your area are desperate and looking for intimate hookups. Despite all that, I do it because I enjoy it. So when I play games and I'm not recording, I'll often just make comments to myself anyway. I'm the sort of person that talks to myself all the time. And recording that is pretty much just recording what would be happening anyway, although obviously I have to step it up a little bit, talking on a commentary or streaming or something. But it's quite easy for someone as mentally unique as I am to just continue talking to himself all the time. It just happens regardless. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's way past my bedtime. I just thought I'd better say something because it's the 10-year anniversary. It's mad, honestly. We're what, 5 point something subscribers, 1,000, 5,500. That's gone up actually from where I last remember it. But yeah, I mean, we had I can't remember what inspired me to start making, I think it was Mariland's Pokemon videos, I think. And then, again, I can't remember what inspired me to then start talking over the top of it, or why I decided after doing like the whole NidoRun without talking over the top of it, why to then start talking over the top of it. But it happened, and here we are. Then, of course, the Fire Red Nuzlocke happened, and then Terraria happened not long after that. Hello, welcome along and slightly back, but mostly forward and slightly to the side of Terraria. And now we need to talk about Terraria. The boss guide for defeating the Destroyer really gained me most of these 5,000 subscribers. I'd be nowhere near that were it not for that video. I just happened to come up with. I came across a couple of strategies and I combined them and came up with my own strategy, and I thought, hey, this works. So I made a video about it. I don't profess to be very particularly good at making guides, although I did have it in my head to make a beginner's guide to Pokemon battling, seeing as that is something I'd probably consider myself to be an authority on, which is those sorts of things are few and far between. And I've had to explain it to a lot of people in the past, and they say, but how does that work? What would you do? Just catch them all? What fucking don't make any sense. You competitive Pokemon don't make any sense, because I work with a load of pearly kings. And yeah, so I did that guide and just I wasn't making Terraria content, but you just get a load of retards who, can I say that anymore? No, I can't. Load of people who would watch the video and go, oh, that's good, I'm going to subscribe to that, and then never watch any of my other videos because I wasn't making Terraria videos. But again, then this is where this it's my channel. It's as Chris Moles might say, it's not about you, it's about me. By the way, huge inspiration, love the guy. So yeah, we went through that, and then 2012 was when I dropped out of uni, which went really well for me, honestly, and that's not even a joke. But I had a lot of time when I was unemployed, and I was just playing Minecraft or Tekkit all the time.
Are you going to keep those bronze legs?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Alright, I'll make myself some iron legs then.
Oh, sorry, these yours.
Yeah,
I thought they felt a bit warm.
I didn't think... I got very excited.
God, it's not bronze at all, is it?
Yeah. It was steel when I got it.
Oh, why aren't you recording this?
One of my videos was a recommended video next to one of the Yogscast's Tekkit videos, and that got me so many views and subscribers, and that was all of a sudden when I realised, hang on a minute, this is something you can actually, like, do. Not just do it, but do it. If you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? I barely know what I mean, to be honest, most of the time, and that's being charitable. And that's when I really thought, hang on a minute, I can make something of this. It's when I first joined, or started looking into, like, monetization and YouTube networks and so on and so forth. We'll talk about them in a second. And yeah, so I kind of went to that Minecraft phase, but then again, that just kind of fizzled out into nothing. I think I stopped making Minecraft videos because I discovered this amazing hot new game called EU4, which I was just playing all the time instead of making videos. And so in the end, I had hit on the idea of just recording myself playing that instead, because it was all I was playing all the time. And the rest, as they say, is history. The other thing, of course, that's been in this huge undercurrent throughout the whole channel, this whole sinister undercurrent, is of course Digimon World, which me and Ozzy started in 2012, that same year in fact. I was back from uni, so we decided to start meeting up again.
Even if they have got like a tiny hole, would snakes would snakes still make the loud noise every time they go to toilet?
What can I say about Digimon World?
No.
It's really hard to explain. It's one of those things you have to just kind of watch it all from the beginning. It's like one of these... It's such a massive in-joke. The whole thing is just one massive in-joke. But it's incredible. It's amazing. You got to come along for the ride and destroy your brain like we destroyed ours. Yeah, it's great. So YouTube networks. I started off with... So back in the day... Not any old Tom, Dick, nor Harry could monetize their gaming content very easily. You had to join a network, really, for that protection. Like, it's basically a protection racket. And one of the easiest ones to get into was a one called RPM. Record, Promote, Monetize is what they called it. It's a load of bollocks. Looking back on it, I was just like... they had a threshold that was like... you needed 1,000 subs and a certain... I think it was just 1,000 subs, actually, if I remember rightly. But these were guys that... Basically, you had a choice between making nothing from your videos and getting hit with, like, copyright claims all the time, or join a network. They take 40% of your revenue, but you're making something, and that's better than nothing. And also, they used the CMS, the content management system, which basically, if you're like a bona fide content creator, like the Sony Music Group and people will have access to the CMS. How some of these companies have CMS access, I have no idea. But they must license it from people, I guess. You basically load all of your assets, your what's the word I'm looking for? Your media. I can't think of the word. You load it into the CMS, and you basically claim it. And it's yours, and if someone else loads that, you can claim it back then. So having access to... You didn't get a CMS yourself, but you were like... children did underneath their CMS, and so you got the benefits of monetization. You could also add... you could schedule videos. That used to be a partner perk. Only partners used to be able to do that. Mad to think of now. And you could also have shows which don't exist anymore, but you could basically have like a show called Pokemon, and then Season 1, NidoRun, Season 2, Fire Red Nuzlocke, Season 3, Colorless Run, etc. I'll talk about why it's called Invisible Tower in a minute as well. So yeah, and also you could have your username. Partners used to be able to have a little logo instead of just the text of their username, which was mad. So I joined the partner program through RPM, and then like the week afterwards, everyone got access to scheduled uploads, and they got rid of the little icon for your name, so that was worth it. But I still had shows, and I still had the protection. After a while, it became clear that there were better options available. Of course, shows don't exist anymore either as well now. They got phased out. But yeah, it became obvious that there were better options available, and so I, after having an argument with one of their clueless reps about the meaning of at least, because it was like, you need to give us at least 3 months notice before the end of your contract that you want to cancel it, otherwise it auto-renews. And so I gave them notice like 4 months away, and they said, can you get in touch with us when it's 3 months? And I said, no, that's not what the contract says. And they said, it says here, at least 3 months. And I replied back like, this is obviously some strange meaning of the phrase at least that I'm not aware of. Utter idiots. But anyway, I got out of it. And I got so many questions from people as well saying, hey, my friend's stuck in this contract, can you give me some advice? Like, you just read the contract, mate. It's not like you got to cheat it, like, there's some secret trick. It's a contract. You've signed the contract. You should have read it before you signed it, you muppet. Anyway, so I ended up then with a subset of Curse called Union for Gamers, and they were really good. I really liked them, actually. I've got nothing bad to say about them. They took 10% of your revenue, which at the time was just the best you could possibly get. They had a much higher threshold to friendry as well, so you actually felt like they weren't just... Because a lot of the networks were just letting anyone... just as a money-making scheme, basically. Whereas with Curse, you at least had to have that threshold that was actually, you had to work to get to it. But yeah, they were so good. They only took 10%, and my revenue with Curse was way higher, even accounting for the percentages. So it was win-win all round. They were really good. And they did things like, if the payment was 2 days late, they'd waive their 10% and things like that, which just made you feel like it's a partnership rather than they're just taking me for a ride. But then, of course, YouTube buffed up their own partner program and made it functionally indistinct from being partnered under a CMS. And at that point, they put in a load of new rules for CMS owners to say, actually, if you've got this, you're responsible for all of those channels. So what happened then was a load of networks such as Curse just basically had to drop a load of people and say, sorry, but we can't vet every single person's videos, so we have to only work with a small select number of people. It's YouTube's rules, But yeah, not a bad word to say about Curse, honestly. A load of people give them shit for dropping everyone, but like really, when you read up about the situation, and I read up on this stuff all the time, and I knew about it at the time. They did really good. Good on you, Curse. So yeah, what was I going to talk about? Why is it called Invisible Tower? So, Pokemon. In the trading card game, the normal type is called Colorless. Now, I did a normal type, monotype run called the Colorless Run, and I start to say something along like, when people say like the Yogscast say here at, Yog Towers, or, RPS, the site website, I say like RPS Towers and stuff. It's just kind of a euphemistic thing that I don't know if they do it in other countries, it's definitely a thing in the UK. So I was going to say here at Colorless Towers, but then as it was like moving from my brain to my mouth, I thought of the episode, I can't remember which episode it is of Look Around You, Series 1, where he says, the water has changed colour from brown to invisible, which is a reference to, in science classes, your teacher will always have said, I'm sure everyone's teacher would have said this to them in science at some point, like this, a clear water, you call it colourless. It's not clear, it's not see-through, it's not invisible, ha ha ha, and everyone laughs. So the look around you thing is a reference to that, saying that it's changed colour to invisible. So because of that, because it was colourless, before it got to my mouth, it changed to invisible. And then for reasons unknown to none but my instinct, it changed from Invisible Towers to the Invisible Tower, just before it came out of my mouth. And so it's just always been that. It's just always, and that's it. That's the reason behind it. There's no real explanation. It's just a stupid joke, which stuck, which is kind of this channel in a nutshell. But yeah, there's all various things after the fact. So like the fact that in TechIt, I had this whole thing about the company was called Termco. Now the reason for that is I'm obviously a big Oddworld fan, as you can see, and back when I was a kid, I used to like make up my own factories and levels and things for and executives and things for Oddworld. And one of the ones I came up because there's in Munch's Odyssey there's a company called Flub Fuels, which is referred to. There's a level called Flubco Executive Offices, so it was like Flub Fuels owned by Flubco kind of thing. And so one of the companies I came up with was a Term Oil rig, like turmoil. So then that the parent company of that would be same as Flub Fuels has Flubco, Term Oil has Termco, and so that's where that came from. Simple as that. And have I said that a lot? Simple as that. Simple as that. And so that's I kind of used it in TechIt. There was oil was a latent resource you could find, and so I kind of like dredged that out of my memory banks to be like the thing, the Termco, and it's kind of grown from there. Now, term with a rolled R for some reason is apparently German for tower, so that links in nicely to Invisible Tower, but it's not why. It's not why. It's just a coincidence. It's the same as why like the guys on the podcast don't seem to understand that when I explained the name Inaudible, it was because it's the invisible podcast, but it's not invisible because it's audio, so it's inaudible. And the fact that it's a nice pun about Audible was sponsoring everything at the time, and so I said so that works out quite well as well. But then they seem to take that as meaning that's where I got the name from. Anyway, yeah, all these things they all link together nicely, but they're all coincidences, which is quite satisfying, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I'm here on YouTube now, but honestly, the thing is with YouTube, people like me who just do it for fun aren't really made to feel welcome. I hate to say it, but that's kind of how it is. It's like they make it difficult for you at every turn. You're always jumping through hoops. And on the one hand, I can understand certain things, and on the other hand, I just feel like if we could just do without this shit, it'd be a lot easier. So that's why people are always shilling their patrons, which I try to do, but I hate doing it. But I'm gonna do it now. I've done it. It's great. $1 a month, like $1. If 1,000 people watch ads on my video, or no, 1,000 people, because it's accounting for ads. I did do the maths once. If 1,000 people watch your videos, accounting for ad block and varying rates of CPM, that gets you about $1. So for one person to say, here's $1 a month, that makes such a huge difference. Like if you think about, you've got someone, say you got someone who's getting, this isn't what I get, but let's say you got someone who gets 100,000 views a month, they might make $100. If a tenth of their subscriber base, so what's that, $10,000, if a tenth of their subscriber base subscribes at the lowest tier on Patreon, they're suddenly, instead of making 1,000, instead of making 100, they're making 10,000. So this is why people do it, man. It's because they can turn it into a living, and who wouldn't want to make a living out of something they love? That's what I gotta say. So yeah, YouTube doesn't make you feel welcome. So that's why I've been like focusing on the Twitch thing more to a bigger extent. Like I don't really tend to edit things anymore, except Digimon, just because of I enjoy watching that myself. Because I just take the VODs basically. I record it at the same time as I'm streaming it, and I just chuck them on YouTube basically, just as like a backup. Because Twitch is for gaming, so it makes you feel like, oh, this is where this belongs, sort of thing. you know, and it's, as well as that, it's, you know, you get to the interaction with the community and stuff like that, which you don't really get with YouTube, which you know, it's not why I stream, but it's definitely a lot nicer than, you know, some idiots you get commenting on YouTube, honestly. Naming no names. I can't remember their names anyway, it's just randos, you know. Good save. What was I saying? Yeah, and it's things like, and as Twitch gets bigger, this will start to become more of a problem on Twitch as well, I imagine. But I think the advantage of Twitch is its impermanence as far as content copyright holders are concerned. So for YouTube, if you upload something copyrighted, it's there forever. On Twitch, it's there for 30 days or so, you know, or 60, whatever it is. And so I think people are more lenient with that. All that happens is sections of the VODs get muted. It's not like your video gets blocked. It's just like if someone's catching up on the VOD, they can't watch 3 minutes of it or whatever, which I think it's just a much better way to do it. It's a much better way to do it. And yeah, you can stick things on YouTube anyway for a permanent backup. It's all good. So yeah, Twitch, check that out. Because, I mean, the amount of subscribers I have on YouTube, if more people watch the Twitch streams, I'd be a much happier bunny, honestly. I could stream on YouTube, and I'd probably get more views that way. But it's just, I'm just not made to feel like I'm, you know, they want me to make content on YouTube. That's, you know, and how things get promoted and what's always in the, like, I click on the trending tab and it's just like, this isn't the site I'm using, you know? It's, my homepage is totally different. But yeah, also, I'll make a note of the fact in your minds with my psychic pen that if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. If you're, you know, upset about Jeff Bezos not paying his taxes, you can do that and take money out of his pocket. It's what I do, comrade. This has really gone off-piste somewhat from where I started, mainly because I'm incredibly tired and this was really done sort of ad hoc. God knows how it's going to come out in the edit. I might have to drop clips in and cut things around and bits and bobs and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's it. 10 years of commentated stuff on YouTube. The first episode of the NidoRun was up in the end of 2009, so it's not the anniversary of my first video, official video. It's not even the anniversary of my first actual video. I did like a Football Manager one. Is that still on here, actually? I might have a quick little look. Where's my channel videos? Bum 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 bum. It'd be Woking. Yeah, my first ever video. Here it is. 15th of May 2009. FA Cup round 4, Liverpool 0, Woking 1. Those were the days. But yeah, 12th of July 2010 was the first time I ever spoke on YouTube. And haven't I come a long way since? No, I haven't. And on that bombshell, go away.